I'm in a staring contest with my own reflection, and I'm losing. I haven't blinked in what feels like hours. My eyes are burning and hot tears are carving these slow, salty trails down my cheeks, but I can't close them. I just can't, because every time I do, it gets closer. It's a simple, impossible rule to a game I never wanted to play. My own face, the one I've shaved and washed for 31 years, is now just inches from the other side of the glass. And it's waiting. It's waiting for me to blink. And I know, with a kind of certainty that has hollowed me out completely, that the next time I do is going to be the last dot. Just a week ago, my life was beautifully, aggressively boring. I'm Alex, and my world basically ran on routines. I'm a graphic designer. I work from home, so my biggest daily battle was a client wanting a logo to pop more. My apartment's a little one-bedroom on the 7th floor, a place I picked because the big windows let in the afternoon light. It's minimalist, not because of some grand design choice, but because I'm too indecisive to buy stuff. My social life was a quiet hum. Gym a couple of times a week, a Friday night beer with some college buddies, and a lot of time just spent in my own head. I was content, stable, normal. The bathroom mirror was just a mirror. A big, frameless rectangle the builders probably got on sale. It was a utility, a tool for checking for stuff in my teeth or seeing if my hair was going to behave. I'd stand there every morning, half asleep, and go through the motions. Brush teeth, wash face, stare into my own tired eyes, and wonder if today was the day I'd finally start that personal project. My reflection was just a copy of me. It did what I did, exactly when I did it. No delay, no second thoughts, no weird deviations. It was just physics, light and angles. That's all. That's the part one keep getting stuck on. The sheer, boring normalcy of it all. Because this kind of horror isn't supposed to happen in a life like mine. It's for old, dark houses with some tragic backstory, or for people who go looking for trouble. It doesn't belong in a brightly lit, sterile bathroom on a Tuesday morning. But that's where it started, with a trick of the light. At least, that's what I told myself. It had to be done. It was last Tuesday. I remember the exact moment because a video call was starting and I was late. I was in the bathroom, splashing water on my face. I leaned up, grabbed a towel, and glanced at the mirror. For just a split second, the man in the mirror was still leaning over the sink. I was standing straight up, towel in hand, but my reflection was still hunched over, face hidden. I froze, stared. My heart gave a single hard thump against my ribs. And then, like it was catching up, the reflection snapped upright, matching my pose perfectly. It was so fast, so seamless, I immediately doubted I'd even seen it. Just a brain fart. A weird visual glitch from sleep deprivation and the fluorescent lights. I'd read about things like that. Little illusions the brain creates. I shook my head, laughed it off, and finished getting ready. The call went great. Client loved the designs. The day just went on, but the seed was planted. That evening, brushing my teeth, I found myself watching my reflection way too closely. I watched its hand move in perfect time with mine. Watched it spit into the sink at the exact same instant. Everything was normal. I felt like an idiot. Of course it was normal. It's my reflection. Then I gave a small, tired smile, and my reflection smiled back. But the smile was off, just a fraction of a second too slow, and it was wider than mine. It was so subtle I couldn't be sure, like watching a movie where the audio is out of sync by a single frame. The wrongness is almost impossible to see, but you feel it. The smile didn't reach its eyes. My eyes. In the mirror, they were cold, analytical. They were watching me. My smile dropped, and a beat later, the reflection's smile vanished too, replaced with that same flat, observational stare. Finished up, flicked off the light, and practically ran to my bed. It's just fatigue, I told myself. I'm working too hard, staring at a screen all day. My eyes are playing tricks on me. That has to be it. The next day, I tried to avoid the mirror. I used the little magnified travel mirror to shave, keeping my back to the bathroom wall. I felt like a kid scared of the monster under the bed. The feeling of being watched was real, though a heavy weight on my neck whenever I was in that room. But you can't avoid your own reflection forever. It's in the dark screen of your phone, the window of a passing bus, the side of the toaster. All day I'd catch a glimpse of myself, and for a terrifying second I'd see a movement that wasn't mine. A head turned a little too far. A hand raised when mine were down. Every time I'd whip my head around to check, and it would be gone. Normalcy snapped back into place. The world kept insisting I was the one who was broken, not it. The real test came that night. I knew I couldn't avoid the bathroom. Steeling myself, I walked in and stood at the sink, staring at the faucet. I made myself go through the routine. Brush teeth. Wash face. I refused to look up. I could feel its gaze. I know that sounds insane. How can you feel a reflection looking at you? But it was a pressure, a physical presence coming from the glass. Finally, I took a deep breath and raised my head. My reflection stared back, its expression a perfect copy of my own anxious face. Everything was still. We stared at each other. I didn't move. It didn't move. Then I had an idea. A stupid, desperate idea to prove I wasn't crazy. I would blink. The most natural, involuntary thing in the world. I'd blink, it would blink, and this whole nightmare would be over. So I blinked. It was a fast, single blink. But in that tiny slice of darkness, something happened. When my eyes opened, the reflection was different. The change was so small, I almost missed it. Its head was tilted, maybe a single degree to the left, and its shoulders, they seemed broader, pushed forward. It was closer, not by much. An inch, maybe less, but it was definitely closer to the surface of the mirror. I just stood there, paralyzed, my blood turning to ice. That was the first time I understood the rule. Every time I blink, it moves closer. The days that followed were a descent into a private hell. My life became a war against my own body. I started timing my blinks, trying to go as long as possible. My eyes would burn and water, my vision blurring until I had to give in. And each time I did, I'd snap my eyes open to find him. I'd started thinking of it as him, a little nearer. The inch became 2. 2 became 6. He wasn't just a flat image anymore. He had depth. The space behind him in the mirror seemed to be fading, turning into a black, featureless void. The familiar tiles of my bathroom wall were gone from his world. There was only him and the darkness closing in behind him. I tried to fight back. I covered the mirror with a towel. The first time I felt a wave of relief so strong it made me dizzy. I could finally blink. I could splash water on my face without a second thought. But it didn't last. The next morning, I walked into the bathroom and the towel was on the floor, neatly folded. I live alone. Nobody has a key. I put it back up, this time using duct tape to stick it to the wall. I went to make coffee, my hands shaking. When I came back, the duct tape was peeled off, lying in sticky strips on the counter, and the towel was on the floor again. He wanted me to watch that. My sanity started to fray. I stopped answering my friends' calls. How do you explain that you can't get a beer because you're in a staring contest with your evil twin? I looked awful. My eyes were constantly bloodshot, with dark, bruised-looking circles underneath. Sleep became a series of short, panicked jolts, waking up in a gasp, terrified of how many times I might have blinked. He was getting bolder. His expressions weren't subtle anymore. He'd smirk when he saw my raw, red eyes, a slow, cruel pull at the corner of his lips that was a disgusting parody of my own smile. Sometimes I'd stare so long my features would start to distort and swim. That old, strange face in the mirror trick. But it was worse for me, because when the illusion faded, I'd see his face had actually changed. His jaw was harder. The look in his eyes was hungrier. He looked like me, but stronger, more confident, and completely empty of empathy. I tried to get proof. I set up my phone to record, propping it on the shelf. I stared at the mirror, at my own haggard face staring back, and I blinked, deliberately. Once, twice, 3 times. Each time I saw him lurch forward. He was maybe a foot from the glass now, his hands raised, palms flat against the invisible wall between us. I could see the fine lines on his knuckles. He was becoming more real than me. I snatched the phone, my heart pounding with a sick, triumphant feeling. I rewound the footage, and I saw nothing. Just me standing in my bathroom, blinking at a perfectly normal, static reflection. The recording showed my image staying exactly where it should be. It didn't see anything wrong. It was just me. Only I could see him. That was the moment I really knew I was alone in this. This horror was mine and mine alone. A prison for one. The last 48 hours have been a blur of caffeine and raw terror. I haven't slept. I can't. He's right there now, pressed against the glass. I can see the pores on his skin, the individual fibers in his iris. His breath fogs his side of the mirror, a detail so impossible, so fundamentally wrong, my mind feels like it's tearing apart. He's not really moving anymore. He just waits. His presence is a suffocating force. The air in the bathroom is cold and unnaturally still. He started communicating, not with words. He mouths them, his expression a mask of predatory patience. His lips form the word as I sway on my feet, my body screaming for rest. My eyes feel like they're full of sand and fire. The muscles in my eyelids twitch and spasm. My vision is a watery mess. I can barely make out his face, but I know he's smiling. That wide, wrong smile. Let me out. This is it. The end game. He wants my life. He wants my apartment, my friends, my beautifully boring existence. He's watched me live from his silent glass prison, and he's decided it's his. The stronger self, the doppelganger, wants out. and I'm the lock on the cage. My refusal to blink. I've been in here for hours. I can't leave the bathroom. I can't look away. If I turn my back on him now, this close, I don't know what will happen. Will he break the glass? Or just step through? My body is giving up. A tremor starts in my legs and works its way up my whole body. I'm so tired I can barely stand. My thoughts are sluggish. The burning in my eyes has become a roaring agony. Every nerve is screaming at me to just close them. For 1 second, 1 second of darkness, 1 second of peace. His face is inches from mine, separated by millimeters of glass. His eyes are locked on me. They aren't my eyes anymore. They're ancient and cold and filled with a terrible, patient hunger. He raises his hand and presses his fingertips to the glass. I watch mesmerized as on my side the mirror grows cold beneath his touch. I can feel the chill from where I stand. He sees me weakening. He sees the tremors, the tears flowing freely now. His smile widens. It's a smile of pure, absolute victory. He mouths one last word, mine, and I know he's right. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. The fight is over. A strange calm, the acceptance of the inevitable, washes over me. It's almost a relief. I take one last look at the thing wearing my face, and then I let my eyelids fall. The darkness is absolute. For a glorious, infinite moment, there's no pain. Only a cool, silent black. It's the most peaceful I've felt all week. It doesn't last. The sound comes first. A faint, distant cracking, like ice breaking on a lake. Then a dizzying, nauseating lurch, like I'm in an elevator with cut cables. My stomach drops. A shattering cold rushes through me, so deep it feels like it's replacing my bones. I open my eyes. I see the bathroom. My bathroom. The sink, the tile, the damp towel on the floor. It's all there, but it's wrong. I try to lift my hand to touch the sink, to ground myself, but my arm won't move. I try to take a step, but I'm frozen. Then I see him. He's standing where I was, in my body. He stretches my arms. He rolls my neck, a sickening crack echoing in the small room. He looks at his hands, flexing the fingers with a look of deep satisfaction on his face. My face. He walks to the sink, turns on the tap, and splashes water on his face. He doesn't even flinch. He just sighs, a deep, contented sound. Then he looks up. He meets my gaze, and he smiles. It's my smile now, a real one, and it reaches his eyes. My eyes. They look so alive. He leans forward, his face coming closer to mine. I feel a scream building in my throat, a silent, trapped shriek. I'm pounding on the glass from the inside, but my limbs don't move. I have no voice. I'm just a consciousness trapped behind a pair of eyes. He leans in until his forehead rests against the cold surface of the mirror. "Thank you," he says, and I hear my voice vibrating through the glass. "I'll take good care of it." He winks at me, a slow, deliberate wink, and then he turns, walks out of the bathroom, and closes the door, leaving me alone in the dark, silent world behind the glass. I'm the reflection now, and all I can do is watch. Have you ever looked in a mirror and felt like the person looking back wasn't quite you? Ever seen something move in your peripheral vision only for nothing to be there? Tell me in the comments. I need to know I'm not the only one in here. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing. You have no idea how much it helps. Stay safe in whatever you do. Try not to blink.